Hello and welcome to Newsmakers. I'm your host, Nancy Lewis. We're here today in the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum with Missouri Representative Jason Holsman. And let's talk quickly about the Urban Agriculture Act. Tell me what was in that you would have hoped would have passed this year.
Well, it had a provision that would take in the local sales tax associated with any food that was purchased in the urban agriculture zone, which is what the bill created, especially for vendors. 75% of all the food sold in the zone would have to be locally sourced, either in the county that the zone is located in or any adjoining county. And then the sales tax would go into a fund for elementary schools to integrate agriculture into their curriculum and grow their own food on site so we can change the food that we are serving our young people in our school districts.
So you're hoping that that will fly next year?
It's one of the reasons why I've decided to run for the Senate, to continue my public service, to try and make this bill a reality. We got real close. It was as close as you can get without actually passing it, and we'll take another run next year.
Let's talk about education quickly. I know when the session started, it seemed like everyone was so gung-ho to get on board and do something for especially urban education. And that didn't happen.
I was a teacher in the Kansas City School District for 5 years, and so my perspective is uniquely primary with the challenges that we face.
Right.
And I was very pleased that Mayor Sly James had stepped forward and offered up a plan to try to address that. It did not gain traction in the legislature, so there were a variety of competing plans. One of the big things we wanted to do is waive the 2-year waiting period for action to be taken. Senator Kiki Curls had worked on 1174 to try to make that a reality, but as is with all legislation, sometimes it gets tied to bills that don't necessarily impact it, and this time was no exception. 1526, which would essentially get rid of teacher tenure, was in the Senate. It was being held up, so the House held up 1174, and on the last day of session we ran out of time and both bills ended up not passing. So now we're in a position where, same as we were on the first day of the session, we're not sure exactly what the course of action is going to be, other than we need a course of action because these young people deserve our best effort.
Yeah, I was going to say, in the end, how do you think that the students in the Kansas City, Missouri School District, how do you think the effect has been on them?
Well, the challenges that they face are not just with the school governance, which this bill would address, and it's not with the teachers, which 1526 would address. It's more holistic. You know, you've got high unemployment, you've got the transient nature of families, you've got hunger issues they deal with, you've got crime and domestic violence, and there are a lot of issues that prohibit student achievement. And that's what we really want to focus on. How can we help students achieve? I believe early childhood education development, providing more seats for Montessori classes, continued adult education, getting the parents re-engaged with their students' life and the life of the school as a large. Those are areas that I think that if we focus on, we're going to see some successes. If we don't focus on those, we can put as much money into it and we can change the governance as much as we want, but we're not going to see the achievement change until we start addressing those things that inhibit the achievement.
Do you think that you'll have a chance to affect that being a part of the Senate if you were to become a senator?
If I am elected, I would like to convene the stakeholders together and sit down and look at this issue from a global perspective within the city of Kansas City as it relates to the unaccreditation. We know that there are things that we can do to help solve the problems, but we have 20 years of essentially failure for the district, and it's incumbent on us to have the conversations, the real hard ones. Why aren't parents engaged with the district? Where is the money going and why isn't it being effective? We answer those questions, we'll figure it out.
So something needs to be done.
Something needs to be done. Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Appreciate
for being
it.
here.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. We hope to see you next time on Newsmakers.